If I don't leave now, when could I? I felt stuck. I felt scared. I hope that someone told me this at the moment of time. The reason why I'm sharing this, right, is because hi everybody, my name is Zionette Esther. Welcome to my channel. As you can see from the title today, it is very heavy topic, but it is very close to my heart and very vulnerable to me. Last year, I started out my channel right after I was hospitalized, which I'll share next time. So at that point of time, I had a thought in my mind to share my vocal, but also my story, hoping that whatever that I experience, my story could help someone in need who is needed to hear this right now. I hope that my story can bring some light to someone's life. I'm an abuse survivor and a divorcee. I only can say that I'm proud of myself for having the courage to walk out from whatever that I was experiencing at that time. I thank God for my dog Snowy for going through all these things with me. So I just let you know a little background story. I was the youngest at home, so I was well loved by my parents and my sister. So I grew up in a very protected environment. At that point of time, I was like very young. Then I was like thinking like love is like a fantasy kind of thing. What kind of terrible things that can happen if we are married with someone that we love. I guess at that point of time, abuse and violence and stuff are all the taboo topics to be spoken of. Basically, I met my ex-husband through church on 2011. Then after that, we become friends. Then slowly, gradually, 2012, 2013, I think, we got together. At that point of time, right, because I was very young, so my temper was not good and I was very rebellious. Then when we got together that time, right, got one time we actually celebrated my mom's. Initially, my mom actually approved of the relationship. But after this incident, my mom actually didn't approve already. He actually fetched my whole family to one of the shopping mall for a meal. Then we were deciding what to eat, but my parents, they like to eat Chinese food. So my mom, the birthday lady, want to eat Chinese food. And he started to play MIA and making a big fuss and causing the whole environment to be very down. This is the first time he was celebrating my mom's birthday. So ever since then, my mom have a bad impression of him. But I tried to like convince my mom, try to forgive him. So eventually, I think my mom seems to be like she forgotten about this. But like I think like few weeks later, he actually proposed to me without asking my parents first. So as a happy girl at that point of time, I was very happy because at that time I was like only 22 years old. I was very happy. Then I was like happily go home and tell my parents, hey daddy, mommy, he proposed to me. But my mom, instead of being very happy for me, she looked at me with a shocked face. And then she went like, are you sure you want to get married with him? His temper is not very good. But at that point of time, I didn't talk much about it, and I was blinded by love, thinking like I also rebellious, I also having temper issue, what other things. But my mom, she's very nice. Whatever that I do, she supported me. But then if let's say anything happen, she's her heart is the place that I go to. Yeah, so even though my mom didn't approve, but I insist. So that was in June 2013 in Singapore. Usually people solemnize their marriage, which is RM, together with their wedding. But at that point of time, we did it differently. So we had our RM first December 2013, and then we actually planned the wedding to be the following year, 30th of August 2014. So I felt that I did it wrong. because at that point of time I was too naive, too gullible. I never think too much about it. I just thinking it's like just getting married, like fairy tale, like all the shows, like just getting married. You don't know that there's a lot of things hidden underneath. So like what all couples that are going to get married, having their arguments during the wedding preparation. So we had our fair share too. One of the differences started is 聘金. Just for the foreigners, right? For Chinese tradition, during wedding, right, the guys side, they have to give 聘金 and 过大礼 to ask for the hand of the girl. So my parents actually asking for 2K, $2,000 Sing dollar, 10 boxes of wedding biscuit, 2 coconut, and also 2 bottles of sparkling wine, which at that point of time, even now, this at the market, this is considered quite low already. But then his parents says that my parents is trying to sell their daughter, my 女儿. I was very hurt. And then can you imagine, I was stuck between these two. But I didn't want to hurt my parents as well. And then because if let's say like that, then my parents would ask us to call off the wedding. But then in my mind is, I've forgotten that there's such thing like annulment of marriage. I thought like I'm stuck with him. I already signed the thing already, how? So I just get along with it. Then after that, another differences is when we do our wedding photo shoot. He actually wants to do it at Malaysia because it's cheaper than Singapore. Then because I have to go back and forth, his parents will also go together. So we actually go to Malaysia via their family car. At that point of time, he started to show very bad temper, but he never hit me. He tried to attempt to throw me at Malaysia alone because he was very pissed at me. But at that point of time, I was just like 22, 23. I didn't know about like safety and stuff overseas because my family, right, we seldom travel. We don't travel at all. Even if we travel, we only travel to Hong Kong or Malaysia to visit our relatives. So I didn't have any experience. Then I was like in Chinese it's called 委曲求全, and stick with them. Like, don't abandon me in Malaysia. I just felt like very naive. We did manage to get our wedding photo. And then another thing that we have differences is the wedding table and stuff, just an example. Because usually the family, both side family will be sitting in the front, then the friends or whatever, then they'll be at the back. But he wants his family and his friends to be closer to the stage and put all my family members and friends at the back, which usually is separate out like this. I have been trying to talk about this to him, but it didn't get through to him. Then my parents found out the night before the wedding, which is on the 29th of August. Then he actually made this comment, 这样子就不要结婚啦, don't get married already lah. Then my mom actually say, okay, 不要. But then to me is at that moment of time, a girl who don't know what to do, I was like, no, I just want to go ahead because one thing, perhaps ego. Another thing is, at the point of time, I love him too much. I can't bear to leave him. We just go along with the flow and with the wedding, even though my parents wasn't too happy with it. On the night of the wedding day, which is on the 30th of August, after the wedding, we straight away flew to Europe for our 3 weeks honeymoon. We covered 10 cities, which is Italy, Switzerland, France, and Spain. When we were packing, he actually told me not to bring my wallet. So I didn't bring because at that point of time I was like, so he said that he want to pay for me, then I don't need to pay a cent. Who don't want, right? So I actually didn't bring my wallet. So I only brought myself, my phone, my passport, and all my clothes, and go with him. ultimately nobody will think that something will go bad on honeymoon, right? And then I'm marrying someone who loved me. Nothing bad could happen, right? On the first night of honeymoon, we were at Rome. So I said something that I pissed him off and stuff. Then he attempted to chase me out of the room because I didn't want to. I was scared. Like if I go out, then what will happen? Will I die in a foreign land? Because like what I told you, I don't have experiencing of flying overseas. So I didn't research about the nearest embassy and stuff. I didn't know there's such a thing. So I didn't want to get out of the room. So he started like slapping me, kicking me and stuff. And this happened for almost every day during the 3 weeks honeymoon. Yeah, to make things worse, right? At that point of time, I couldn't call out because my phone is having issue. I only can pick up calls. Before I flew, my mom actually says that like try to call her every day to tell her that we are safe. So he didn't like me to call back to my house to tell my mom that we are safe. Got one time my mom called me, keep calling me and want to speak to me and make sure that I'm safe, but he confiscated my phone. Don't allow me to pick up my mom's call. As you know that my parents will be worried, my whole family will be worried. So after I managed to get my phone back, I couldn't call out. And when I have my phone with me, they didn't call in. So it's a very... I felt stuck. I felt scared. I felt trapped. And then especially like I have always been wanting to go to Europe and see those architects and stuff, the views, the sceneries. So I remember when we were at Switzerland, Interlaken, I said something that I pissed him off again. So this is one thing that I remember very vividly. So he actually hit my head so hard that I could smell blood. But after that he apologized to me. Then I was thinking like, never mind, then just get along. But I was very scared the whole trip. When we came back to Singapore, the plan is I move into his family place while waiting for our own flat. But after going through what I went through in Europe, I feel very scared when I'm staying with his family. I admit that his parents treated me very well before the wedding, but I got very scared. So I guess that created the strain. Then because their family, their tempers is almost the same. There was one time I got very scared, and then I went back to my parents' place. His parents wasn't too happy. They were quite angry because they are like basically their family felt that since they give 聘金 and stuff, then should be like tradition. Don't go back to the 娘家. Don't go back to your own parents' house. So they actually made me apologize and kneel down in front of them. But after that they changed their words, saying that it is me who wanted to kneel down. But this is not in my culture because my parents don't make me kneel down at all throughout my whole childhood. So after that, I tried to harden my heart to leave him, but he begged me to stay with him. So all I could remember is him telling me whenever he's unhappy, which is almost on a daily basis, he say that I'm ugly, I'm idiot, I'm retarded, and probably all the nastiest words that you can find. I thought that things would get better when we got our own flat, but things actually got worse. So everything that I do, every single decision that I make, I will trigger him. Then we will quarrel. Usually we quarrel until like 3+4 a.m. and yet we still have to go to work the following morning. So slowly, like physical abuse and stuff, it becomes like part of my daily life. Although there are good times with him, the bad definitely outweigh the good. So everything that I do is wrong in his eyes lah. If let's say you're asking like, why you never fight back? Yeah, we did fight. Like I did kick him as well. I did try to hit him as well in protection of myself. But then he hit me back very hard. So got one time I actually asked him, even if I hit you, it won't be so as hard as how you hit me. He told me that each time you hit me, I'm going to hit you 1,000 times more. 1,000 times harder. Then I asked him, why are you treating me like this? He will say like, you deserve this because you are shit. Belong to rubbish chute. And he will say, I'm so ashamed to have such a useless and shitty wife who can't do no shit. And he start to attack my faith in God, saying that nobody will want me, not even God. And I've stained God's name because of my existence. Another time I asked him, why do you ask me to come back to you every time when I want to leave you? Then he says that I beg you to come back so I can torture you. And he also attacked my self-worth once more, saying that you don't deserve the 2,000 pingjing because you are worthless, you don't worth a cent. So at that point of time, he actually crushed my self-esteem and my self-worth. And slowly, because of all these words, right, I start to isolate myself from everybody, from my friends and stuff. I wanted to tell people. One part he told me that nobody will believe me if let's say I tell them, because actually he looks very nice on the outside. Another part is because of my own ego, and my heart is not that hardened enough to leave him. So I start to isolate myself from everybody, except for my family. And thank God that time I was working together with my sister in the same place. So I have to stay with my sister. I didn't know what to do, and I was brainwashed to the extent that I don't believe in myself. I think that I don't deserve anything. But one good thing is when he tried to put me down and say that I cannot do anything, right? I still continue singing at the moment of time. Even though he says like, your singing sucks, listening to your singing is a torture of my life. But I still persevere. So if you can, do leave down the comments below. Tell me that is my singing really sucks. Although I don't feel it so now. I feel that my singing is nice. Yeah. Although I can't share with anyone, but I really thank God for Snowy, because she is with me throughout, and she actually went through the things together with me. So when I was being beaten up, she initially, as a small puppy, she did try to protect me, but after that, whenever she do that, he kick her and stuff, and then in the end she don't dare. And then he also hit her, and yeah, so I felt that there's a special connection between me and Snowy, that we understand each other very well. So to be honest, right, it is very hard for me to leave him at that moment of time, because I still love him very much at that moment of time. And then he used various methods to stop me from leaving, such as begging me, threatening me that he will commit suicide, lock me up, or use Snowy as a hostage. There was once, right, there's a window ledge. He holds Snowy and pull her out, and he said that if let's say I want to leave him, he will drop her down. Of course I won't, because Snowy is very important to me. So I didn't know what to do. In 2016, there was one time he strangled me right the day before I have to do my recording. My heart was dead, and then I emailed a lawyer asking them what to do, because the place that he hit me and stuff, it don't have any bruise and stuff. So they actually told me how I could gather my evidence. Throughout December, abuse still going on, but I tell myself that if he do it one more time, then I'll leave. If you do it one more time, I will leave. If you do it one more time, I will leave. Each time my heart is dying. But to him he thought that he's giving me chance because I'm a shitty wife to him. In January 2017, he said something that crushed my heart. I told myself that the next time I won't give him chance anymore. And that was in end of January 2017. Thank God that I have one opening to save myself. So basically, guys, they have to go for 2 years NS. Then after that, every year they have to go back for reservice. Thank God for reservice. He have to go for that because I have one of my cousin is getting married the following year. And my sister and I saw that the flight ticket is quite cheap, and he started making a big fuss again. And then one of the texts that he gave me is he don't want to see me again. So when I was on the way home, then I was thinking, if I don't leave now, when could I? Because I have Snowy as well. If let's say he's around, then I cannot get Snowy out also. So when I went back, I packed everything up, but I still haven't told anyone. What I told my family is that I'm very scared to sleep alone at home, so I want to go back with Snowy. So after that, then my sister and my brother-in-law actually offered to help me to bring everything. Then when they came, they saw me carrying 2 luggage, and after that with Snowy and stuff, Snowy and her pee pen and stuff. Then my brother-in-law made a comment jokingly, say, "You look like you're moving house." In my heart, I was like, yeah, maybe I'm moving house. So when I went back home, I told my mom every single thing, and I told her that I wanted a divorce. What she think? My mom broke down because my mom doted me a lot. I'm the youngest. She feel her very heart pain that I went through this alone, and she asked me why I didn't tell anyone. I cannot forget that expression that she have in her eyes. That day I spoke to my mom until like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Then after that we went to sleep, and the following morning when I go to work, I told my sister. I asked her, what do you think if let's say I get a divorce? So my sister was like, she asked me what happened, and I told her. Then after which I told my dad. Everybody, 3 of them, they were heartbroken. Why I never tell them before? Why I never show them? But in my heart is because at that time I don't know what to do. After that, then they went through, my sister brought me to police station to do a police report. And so the police, right, actually says that I actually show him my evidence. Then but to get a personal protection order, I need to report every single event. So it's very tall. It will break me at that moment of time. So he actually suggests that try not to be alone and get everybody with you if possible. So at that moment of time, what I remember struck me the most is the police actually says that the thing that I'm going to tell you next, right, is not as a police officer, but it's as a man. After hearing the evidence, he said he don't want one day, right, he picked up a call, went to the house, and saw me lying in the pool of blood. That shocks me. And then my parents also went down to the lawyer firm with me, and then we get all the divorce proceedings started. So that was a very traumatic period for me. I will talk about my recovery in the next video because it's another long chunk, and as I can see, I've been talking for more than going to be half an hour. The reason why I'm sharing this, right, is because at that point of time during abuse, the first source that I go for is not family or what, it's internet. But at that point of time, it is a taboo, I guess. I cannot find much resources there, and I thought that everything is my fault. and I try to redeem myself and be a better wife. And previously I spoken to someone who I found out by chance that she opened up to me and said that she was also abused, but she never shared with anyone. For me, I can't speak up for everybody. When I went through abuse, I felt very ashamed if let's say I share this to someone else. One part is ashamed, another part is ego, another part is scared people ask you to leave the person when you don't have the heart to. So I feel that internet is a very good platform for people to know all these things. Since I have this channel, I felt that I have the responsibility to let people knowing this. So there's a few things that I would want to speak to those people who needed to hear this. I just want to create more awareness to counter abuse, because I don't want like most of the time things become drastic happen, then we got to know like get into hospital and stuff. This is too late. And abuse, it might not be happen in a marriage. It can happen within a family, siblings, relationship, friends, work. I'm not advocating for divorce. If I can, I would not want to be a divorcee. If you are in a toxic relationship that you can get away from, for example, boy-girl relationship, boyfriend-girlfriend, friends, work, do move away, do get away. If you let's say you feel like it is hurting your self-esteem and hurting your self-worth, do walk away. And one thing that I want to say and emphasize in, please do not doubt yourself. Do not be so hard on yourself and put the blame on yourself as well. This is what I felt that time. I felt like everything is my fault. I need to try to redeem myself, become a better wife. I should break up from all these things. But right now I believe that everybody is responsible for their own actions, their own temper. So yes, you might have done something wrong, but they are wrong in their reactions as well. So do not bear their wrongdoings onto yourself. And certainly you don't deserve all these things that you're experiencing right now. I hope that someone told me this that at the moment of time. You don't deserve this as well. You are as precious as gold in God's eyes. One thing is I want to urge is, if possible, if you are going through all these things, do let someone know. Don't suffer for many years alone. At that point of time when I told my parents, my sister about it, even right now I feel very, very pain when I remember how they look. Because since young they protected me, and yet when I go through this I never tell them, and they couldn't speak up for me, and they couldn't do anything. So the best that they can do is when I move back and he tried to come and find me, they chase him away. This is what my dad did. He came over to my house, asked my parents, asked my dad to let him in to speak to me. My dad said this to him, which touched my heart the most. Because my dad is a man of few words. He said that 你为什么打他？我都没有打过他，你这么打他。After I heard this from my mom, I feel very pain. Why do I put myself so low for someone that is not worth, and yet I put people who love me so much in this kind of emotions? So because of this, I urge you to share with someone. If let's say you scared that they ask you to leave the person or whatever, do find a counselor, or if you're in church, find a church leader. Or if you find it too personal, you can call an abuse hotline in your own country. I believe someone could help you. And people who can't control your temper, if you can't control but you still love the person very much, I urge you, do seek help. I believe that there are many places that can seek help to control. Don't because of all this uncontrollable anger that you lose someone that you love. So this is what I want to share. I hope that my sharing will help someone in need. And yeah, so stay tuned for my next video on my recovery and how I overcome all my fears and traumas and getting attached again. I guess this is a very weird video to ask people to subscribe or like my video, but I do ask you to share this to people who need it, to know that it is not their fault for going through all these things. Instead, they should be loved. So that's all that I want to share today, and I hope that my story will bless you. Thank you. So that's all. Bye bye.